Are Russian endings hard for you? Does just seeing this complicated chart of Russian accusative case endings make your head spin? This is how they're usually taught, but not anymore. After teaching Russian for 3 years and living in Russia for 2, I've created a more streamlined, easy-to-follow method that cuts right through the confusion. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we go from this to this, so you can quickly master the accusative endings, taking your Russian to the next level. Давайте начнем. Всем привет, меня зовут Jared, и я делаю русский язык легким. The accusative case is used to identify who or what is receiving the action in a sentence. If that's Greek to you and you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, go watch this video right here where I explain in depth when you need to use the accusative case. To figure out what endings go onto the words, there's a 3-step process. First, you determine the gender. Second, you look at the last letter. And third, you add the appropriate ending. Now, by the end of this video, I'm going to cut one of those steps out. There's only going to be 2, so stick with me here. Here again is the chart, how it's usually presented in schools and online. Very overwhelming, very intimidating. And we're going to mix this up and simplify it greatly here. But before we do that, I need to call out one little nuance that's different to the accusative case than you find in the other cases. And that is, in the masculine form, and only in the masculine, Russians have one more little subcategory there, indicated by these 2 areas right here. And they call it inanimate and animate. So let me explain what animate and inanimate is, and then we're going to get into the endings, and I'm going to show you how we're going to drill this down and really simplify it and make it super easy for you to memorize. Words in Russian that are considered animate is anything that is alive. That includes people, animals, and mythical creatures. Think dragons, mermaids, unicorns, things along those lines are also considered to be alive, even though they don't exist in real life. And the important thing to note here is that if it's not animate, everything else is considered inanimate. That's the easiest way to learn that concept. Pretty easy. All right, let's work on simplifying this chart. I did want you to see it because this is how you're going to see it in textbooks and in graphs if you do a Google search or whatnot. So I wanted you to have the background as to what this is in case you do get lost and have to look it up in the future. You'll know what you're looking at there. But the way this is presented is so confusing. What they do is they take this one chart and they apply it to all the different cases in Russian, which I get. It makes it easier from a teacher's standpoint to present it that way. But why are we making things easy for the teacher when really we should be making things easy for the student? And that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to rearrange things, reorganize it so it's easier for you to learn. Now, this reorganization doesn't apply in all the cases, but that's okay. We're just learning the accusative case for today. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to move this whole group of neuter words into the middle. And then I'm going to take feminine words that end in a soft sign, and I'm going to move them to the beginning of this kind of subcategory of feminine words here. And then I'm going to restack the inanimate and animate words. And what I want you to notice here is that inanimate, they all get the same endings. So I'm going to combine those and restack them so they look like this. And you're like, well, what does that do? What does that get us? Well, take a look at this. All of these endings right here are the exact same, and they don't change at all. So let's take that and combine this down, reduce it a little bit here by organizing it in this manner. You can see how it's already getting so much easier. The next thing that I do is I now look at the masculine, and I don't worry about breaking it out between consonants and ikratkoye endings and soft sign endings. I simplify it one step further. I just say it ends in a consonant or everything else. And I'm going to use the infinity signal here to mean everything else. So it either ends in a consonant or all other masculine words ending in anything else are going to get these endings that we're going to talk about here in a second. Now, I say all, and there's always an exception. Somebody always puts in the comments, well, it's not all. There's this one word that you said one time 200 years ago. And I'm like, okay, fine. But 99.9% of the time, this is going to work for us, okay? All right, here's the endings that we add. For masculine words ending in a consonant, we add ah. All other masculine animate, we add the ya. And remember, masculine inanimate falls into this category, so it gets nothing. All feminine words ending in a go to u, and all feminine words ending in ya go to you. And again, keep in mind that feminine words ending in a soft sign don't change. They keep their soft sign. I want to give you a little hint or a little cheat on how to memorize the feminine endings. The way that I remember these is with a little bit of a jingle. If you look at the cadence of how this sounds, it's a little easier to remember. A to u, ya to you. See how there's kind of a jingle or a cadence there? A to u, ya to you. Say that 3 or 4 times. You'll have it in your head. You'll never have to worry about memorizing these again. Accusative, feminine words, a to u, ya to you. Hey, you guys, if you learned anything, smash that like button. I'd appreciate it. Spasiba. All right, there's 2 little nuances here that I need to tell you about. The first is how to correctly add the endings. So when we're adding the a ending to masculine animate nouns, that's all we do. We just take this letter a and we add it. So the word brat, brother, if we were going to put that into the accusative case, we just add the a, brata. For all the other endings in the accusative case, you're going to drop the last letter and then add the correct ending. So let's take the word naga. That means leg. It ends in an a. We know that it's feminine. And so in the accusative case, we don't add the u to the end. We drop the a, add the u, and we get nagu. See how that changes there? And that's how all the other endings work in the accusative case, except for masculine animate. You just add the a on there. Okay, that was the first nuance. The second nuance here is a question which you may not have anticipated, but it comes up. I promise you, all Russian students eventually ask it. And that is, what do you do with masculine words that have feminine endings? And there's a decent number of them. Take dedushka, for example. That means grandfather or a grandpa. Well, grandpa is masculine because we know by its very definition, it is a man, and so it's masculine, yet it ends in an a, so it has a feminine ending. So what do you do here? Do you go with the masculine animate endings, or do you put the feminine endings on? You still put the feminine endings. So dedushka, in the accusative case, again, we drop the a, add the u, would go to dedushku. Remember at the beginning of this video how I said it was a 3-step process and I'm going to reduce it down to 2? Here's how I do that. When I'm looking at a word that needs to go into the accusative case, I just ask myself, is it masculine animate or feminine ending in a-ya? If the answer is no, I move on. There is no change. I don't worry about whether it's neuter. I don't worry about whether it's feminine ending in a soft sign. I just know if it's not masculine animate and it doesn't end in a feminine a-ya, I don't need to do anything with it. You see how that greatly just reduces the amount of work that you have to put into it? And then if it does fall into one of those categories, then I just jump into my rules. Okay, what is it? Feminine or masculine animate? If it's masculine animate ending in a consonant, I know it needs the a. If it's masculine animate ending in anything else, again, I don't worry if it's an ikratko, if it's a soft sign, I just know anything other than a consonant, I'm going to put that ya ending on. Or if it's a feminine, I just go into my little jingle there, a to u, ya to you. It makes it just so much easier, so much faster. Okay, here's a few examples so you can see what we're doing. Most. That means bridge. So in this case, when I go back to my 2 questions there, right? Is it masculine animate or feminine a-ya? No, it is not an animate because most means bridge. Bridge is not alive. It's not an animate object. So I don't care. I don't need to do anything with it at this point. I just move on. No change. Okay, let's take the word dacha. That's like their summer home, their small little cottages outside the big cities where they go in the summertime to kind of vacation, rest, and relax. It's a dacha. It's a little summer home. They're really pretty cool. So if we wanted to put that in the accusative case, dacha, what would we do? Is it a masculine animate noun? Well, we'd know it's not masculine because it ends in an a. So we go to our second one. Does it end in an a-ya? Yes. Then we go into our little jingle, a to u. So we know that dacha would go to dachu. Take the word kot, a cat. If we wanted to put that into the accusative case, how would we do that? Again, we go back to our first rules. Is it masculine animate? Yes. Remember, anything that's alive, including animals, So this one is going to fall into the masculine animate categories. And what do we do for masculine animate? Ends in a consonant. We add the ah. All right, now there's a shifting stress on this, and you just kind of have to learn those. Don't worry about it right now. Just know that kot goes to kota. Okay, let's do this one. Яйца. It's an egg. If we wanted to put egg into the accusative case. Again, we start with our questions. Is it masculine animate? No. Does it end in a feminine ya? No. So we don't care. We don't have to worry about what it is, what it ends in. It doesn't fit in either one of those categories. We leave it and move on. Okay, I'm going to give you 6 sentences, and I want you to take the word that's in Russian and put it in the accusative case. If you have questions about anything we have done or are going to do here in the examples, you can leave that question in the comment section of the video, and I'll get back to you. I'll respond to that comment there and give you your answer. Okay, first example. I love pizza. Pizza needs to go into the accusative case. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to see if you can do that. That's correct. It would be "Я люблю пиццу." So if we're asking our questions here, is it a masculine animate? No. Is it feminine ya? Yes. And we know that goes to u. So we drop the add the u. Pizza goes to pizzu. Я люблю пиццу. He drank beer. Give you 5 seconds to figure that one out. Okay, going back to our 2 questions. Is it masculine animate? No. Is it feminine ya? No. Again, we don't care. We stop. We move on. It doesn't change. On pil piva. We read a book. Book. How would you put that into accusative case? Okay, we start with our 2 questions. Is it masculine animate? No. Is it feminine ya? Yes. Goes to u, so я читал книгу. Okay, we didn't see our friend. How would that go into the accusative case? Okay, so we just start at the very beginning. Is it masculine animate? Yes. So we add what? The a. Мы не видели нашего друга. So друг goes to друга. Мы не видели нашего друга. Now here's the interesting thing. Drug is the masculine form for friend. If you had a подруга, then that's the feminine form for friend. Can you tell me how that would go into the accusative case? If we said we didn't see our friend, but it was a female friend? It's not masculine animate. It's feminine, ends in an a, so it goes to u, so подруга goes to подругу. Мы не видели нашу подругу. Okay, how would we say she painted the building? How would building go into the accusative case? That's correct. Она покрасила здание. There's no change because it's not masculine animate, and it's not a feminine ya ending. If we don't answer yes to those 2 questions, we move on. We don't care. We make it easy for ourselves. He saw his teacher. How would you say that? That's correct. It's masculine animate, but it doesn't end in a consonant. So what do we do for those? We don't care what else it ends in. We just drop that last letter, add the ya, so учитель goes to учителья. Он видел своего учителя. Okay, you've got the endings to the accusative case. But what's interesting here is that this is only one aspect to the accusative case. There's 5 different areas of each case which you need to master to really up your fluency level. If you don't know what those 5 different areas are, go watch this video and it'll explain how to study each case so that you can master them quickly and easily. Спасибо и увидимся.